I'm doing my senior exit on the negative effects of social media. So state your name and age.
Jasmine, 18.
Okay, and I'm going to ask you a couple questions on what you think about the situation. All right, do you think that social media affects teens negatively, and if so, how?
I think it can if it's not. I guess posting too much of their business and too much of other people's business.
Have you? Oh.
Yeah, it's all posting things that don't need to be displayed.
Have you experienced anything personally or know of anyone who has experienced anything negatively because of social media?
I'm always pretty careful about what I put on social media, so I haven't. And I think my friends are the same way too. I can't think of a time where one of them was going through something because of social media.
Do you have any social medias? If so, which?
I have Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter.
If you could go back and not make them, would you?
Nah, because like I said, I'm pretty responsible. I don't post anything that I wouldn't want anybody to see, so I don't really have a reason to regret having social media.
Understandable. Studies show that social networks can affect teens' personal life and self-esteem. Do you agree?
Yeah.
And why?
Like I said, if you're not responsible with it and you have all your business out on social media, then other people are going to feel like they can comment on it, and sometimes you're not going to like what people have to say. Yeah, and then the wrong information gets out there. It's not a good time.
Alright. What do you think could or should be done about the negative effects of social media?
Honestly, I don't think there's much anybody can do because you can only put so many rules and guidelines on a social networking site, and people are going to use it how they want. The point of social networking is to communicate through the web. So you really, how much can we control what people decide to put out there? Only they can do that.
I'm doing my senior exit on the negative effects of social media. Can you state your name and age?
Yes, I am Monica Johnson, and I am 26 years old.
And where do you work?
At Rocky River High School.
Do you think that social media can negatively affect students' school life?
Yes.
How?
I think that students can become distracted by social media, and I think that because they see false perceptions of life on social media, that they then feel like this is what I need to do in my life. So instead of being focused on a goal that will actually benefit them, they focus on goals that are, I would say goals that kind of get them fame on social media.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like you see the dream on social media of the flashy lifestyle, but and it's more so okay, well, I need to do this so I can post it, and it's no, bro, you need to stay focused in school so that you can get a good education. So then you can go and acquire those things. It's okay to be 17 and not drive a business.
Mm-hmm. To you, is social media something that should be talked about more, with parents in school, the risk of having it?
I don't think social media is something that should be talked about. I think the norms of social media are conversations that we need to start having. Kids need to know it's not okay to post a picture in your bra and underwear on social media. You know what I mean? Social media norms. Those are things that we need to talk about. If you smoke weed and you get high, then that's your personal business, but you don't need to put it on social media. That's not a platform for that.
Have you seen social networks affect students' behavior negatively in class?
I wouldn't say negatively. I've seen it affect their behavior more so it's a distraction, especially Facebook Live. I taught summer school, and for whatever reason, kids just wanted to be on Facebook Live all day. Bruh, you're in class. Why are you recording your teacher trying to teach you?
Should there be an age requirement, and you're not allowed to use parent info? You know how sometimes it'd be if you're 13, enter your mom's information.
I don't think that I don't think if you're in middle school you need to have a social media account. Just because, more so for pedophiles. You know what I mean? Like internet creeps. I'm just kind of like, But again, I feel like, you know, if you have social media, then there just need to be more conversations between adults and students, or adults and kids, about what's okay for social media. You know what I mean? Like, certain things just aren't okay. And I think if we have those conversations, then it'll kind of change how social media
What do
is
you
dealt
think
with
should
in
be
the
done
world.
about social media and its negative effects?
Just, we need to have more conversations about it. Like, just, you can't give kids something and not talk to them and teach them how to be responsible. And adults gotta be responsible too, because, you know, if you follow adults on Instagram and all you see is them posting these types of things, then that changes your mind that this is okay. You know what I mean? So we just need to have more conversations about the do's and don'ts of
So
social
my
media.
topic is on the negative effects of social media.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Can you state your name and age?
Timothy Joyner. My age is 28 years old.
And where do you work?
Rocky River High School.
Do you think that social media can negatively affect students' school life?
Yes, very much so.
How?
Through things like various social medias, feeling like they're being left out, or comparing themselves to other people's highlight reels of their lives, and more traditional things like cyberbullying and stuff like that.
To you, is social media something that should be talked about more, like the risk of it, things you should do on it?
Yeah, I think the risk and I think the benefits aren't talked about enough, but I think the risks need to be highlighted, especially for high school kids.
Have you seen social media networks affect students' behavior negatively in class?
Absolutely.
Give an example.
It provides another distraction for people to think about in class, when they should be focusing on the stuff that the teachers are talking about, or the assignment that's at play in front of them.
Should there be an age requirement and you're not allowed to use parent info? Like, you know, sometimes it'll be like if you're 13, then enter your mom or dad's information.
I definitely think there should be. I think that if it's, I don't think there should be an option for a 13-year-old, people younger than 13, even. Yeah, I think there should be at least 13, if not older, before they get involved in social media.
What do you think should be done about social media and its negative effects?
I think, and kids would not like this, but I think parents need to have access to their social media. Not necessarily like to their account, but following them on their social media to see what kind of stuff they're doing. Because kids are always going to think about the long-term consequences of stuff that they post. They're not going to think about things that 5, 10, 15 years from now could come back to haunt them, either in relationships or with jobs or things like that. Because once something's on the internet, you can try to delete it, but it's always going to exist somewhere. And I don't think kids realize that. I think parent involvement is the biggest thing, but I think there could be more stuff done by those companies themselves, the social media, the Facebooks, the Snapchats, those kinds of companies, to protect kids' privacy, or protect any user on their stuff's privacy.
Can you tell me your name, please?
My name is Gail Ford.
I'm going to ask you a few questions about the negative effects. Do you think that social media affects teens negatively?
Yes, I do.
How?
How? Bad influences. Social media, you can go on social media and they talk about anything from bad to worse. So yes.
Does your child have a social network?
Yes, she does.
How did you feel about it?
I wasn't too happy about it, but in this day and time, you have to have a social media in order to, I guess, be social with your friends. Everybody has it. She would have been an outcast without it. I just hope she's using it in a proper manner. I hope she's being respectful with herself, her friends, and just using it in a positive aspect instead of this being negative. So yeah.
Did she have any bad situations because of it?
I'm sure she has. She's talked to me about a few, but she's not very open about it. But a lot of people on social media that goes after people to try to, you know, for pay, to hurt people. They go after people in negative aspects. So yeah, I'm sure she's had that happen.
Studies show that social media can affect teens' behavior. Do you agree?
Oh yeah.
Why?
Well, why do I agree that it can affect their behaviors?
Yeah.
They're easily influenced, first and foremost. I mean, they'll listen to their peers over their parents in a lot of situations. And so yeah.
How do you think teens today would be if they weren't introduced to social networks?
A lot less. Without being introduced, you would have as a parent more influence over your child. Without social media. Social media have taken this generation to a whole nother level. They feel as if they know more than their parents. All they need to do is go on. If they have a question or answer anything, they'll take it. The social media is a commercial that's out that they can't lie. With social media, the media cannot lie. It was on the internet. So they take that to be fact over experience.
What do you think should be done about social media and its negative effects? Or how do you think that it should be changed?
Well, I don't think at this point there's any control over changing it. I mean, you just have to educate your children, have a relationship, and open conversation. Because at this point, there's no change and there's no going back. And I can see it only getting worse, really. There's nothing hidden. Social media is wide open. And there's really nothing you can do about it as far as change. But you can have change over how you view it as an individual. So, yeah.
I'm going to ask you a few questions about the negative effects of social media. Can you say your name and age, please?
All grade 45.
Do you think that social media affects teens negatively?
Yes,
How?
many different ways. It leads to suicide, depression, insomnia. I mean, so many different ways I can't even name. Peer pressure, a lot of different ways.
Does your child have a social network?
Yes.
How did you feel about it?
Mixed. You know, I like it in some respects, but at the same time, you know, I see how it causes problems. And she has been depressed based on things that happen on social media.
Studies show that social media can affect teens' behavior. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because if you rely on approval from social media for things that you do and say, then when you don't get it, it can lead to a downward spiral of depression, even suicide.
How do you think teens today would be if they weren't introduced to social networks?
I think they'd be a lot healthier, number one. You know, when I was young, we went out and played. Now people sit, you have a room full of people, everyone's on their phone, and no one's communicating with each other. You don't do anything. You just kind of sit around. And so you're close, but there's no connectivity.
What do you think should be done about social media and its negative effects? Or how do you think it should be changed?
You just have to really teach your children, you know, the reality of social media. You can't please everyone. No matter how perfect you may try to be, you're always going to upset people. You just have to, you've got to learn how to live your life outside of social media and to realize it is what it is.
My name is Alexis, and I'm going to be interviewing you about the negative effects of social media. Please state your name and age, please.
My name is Bernie, and I'm 17 years old.
Do you think that social media affects teens negatively?
I do, because I think it gives teens the opportunity to see and be influenced by negative things that they otherwise wouldn't be able to if they hadn't seen it.
Have you experienced anything personally or normally you want to know that?
Me personally, I haven't experienced anything negative about social media. I've gotten into like a little bit of trouble due to misconceptions about social media, and I guess that's kind of the issue because when you see something on social media, it becomes up to perception. So you can see something and you can perceive it as something, and then somebody else will see it, they perceive it a completely different way and take it negative, and then that creates an issue.
Do you have any social medias? Any social relationships?
I do have Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat.
If you could go back and not make them, would you?
Yeah, I would. Because as when you expose yourself to so much of the world, you start to lose who you are as an individual, and it kind of declines your ability to evolve as your own person, and not through other people's influences, but your own personal experiences.
Studies show that social networks affect teens' personal life and self-esteem. Do you agree?
I do agree. It's kind of the same thing with media and television. If you see these images of people, you're going to start to become influenced by that, whether it's negative or positive. So I do think that's true.
What do you think could or should be done about the negative effects of social media?
Honestly, I think that's just the progression of society. As society progresses, we move on to certain things, and social media is one of them. As time goes by, there's probably be another thing that trumps social media, and we probably don't even know what it is, but it'll be that new form of social media. So that's just the